Halloween is like just a holiday where you just dress up and go trick-or-treating and get candy.
I didn't really look at it at the religious aspects until a couple of years ago. You know, when people told me Halloween's not a good holiday. I don't really consider it a holiday, but I mean, I do still go out, get dressed, and get free candy.
To me, Halloween was a day where I could dress up and just go trick-or-treating with my friends.
When I was younger, I celebrated it, and it was just kind of like the time where we dressed up and we got free candy. And I'm a Christian, so later on, there was a time where my parents were like, well, we're not really sure if we want to participate in this, because they felt that it had changed from being a place where it was just, you know, kids dressed up as pumpkins and like nice things to all of a sudden more like horrific and disgusting creatures. But as I got older, like in my teen years, my parents were like, well, yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
I actually was raised not celebrating it, so I know it's the devil's holiday and something you shouldn't partake in.
My parents are pastors, so I was never really allowed to like do that. And our church always did like a harvest fest more instead of celebrating Halloween. No, my parents never allowed it.
We went out with the family, you know, dressed up, had a good time, collect a lot of candy.
I stopped trick-or-treating probably about like 9 years old because, you know, I don't know, too much candy. I'm not a big fan of it.
When I think of Halloween, I think of costumes and candy. I don't really think of it as it being too profound or anything.
Hey, Kristen, check me out. I'm Abraham Lincoln.
It's so funny because your name's Abraham.
I know.
Guess what I am?
I don't know.
I'm an angel.
Oh, okay, I get it, yeah. I was pretty excited for this Halloween episode. Couldn't wait to break this, like, half of a costume out, you know?
I have great memories of trick-or-treating, but you know, as Catholic Christians, this topic of Halloween can be pretty tricky.
I know. Halloween appears to be a completely secular or non-religious holiday, but there's more to it than meets the eye.
So, is Halloween a religious holiday? That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Abe Lincoln.
And this is Real Faith TV.
For many of us, as children, Halloween meant trick-or-treating and getting lots of candy.
For others, Halloween may not have been celebrated because of its pagan association.
For Catholics, the origin of Halloween is a religious one.
Let's meet our spotlight guest, Dan O'Boyle, a former RFTV cast member who will tell us about the meaning of Halloween for Catholics.
Yes.
You've got two parts to Halloween. You've got the secular part that a lot of people celebrate, Christian and non-Christian alike, and you've got the part that a lot of people don't know about, which is the celebration of All Saints' Day and of All Souls' Day. When people think of Halloween, they think of candy, they think of costumes, they think of scary things. Growing up as a kid, Halloween was a chance for my brothers and I to go, you know, run off together trick-or-treating. And when we were kids, we couldn't wait to get together and have our parents take us out. And every year my mom made these costumes. I remember the year that we were all Power Rangers. And you know, I had 3 younger brothers, so we had most of the Mighty Morphin Squad, you know, together and ready to go. And from that part, as a kid, that's my memory of Halloween. That's why I liked Halloween growing up. But as an adult, I actually have a very different perspective on it. As a religion teacher, we would often examine All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day in class. And I'd have a special kind of prayer service that I did that day to kind of explain the difference between All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. I think we incorporate our faith into Halloween by remembering that the season is special, by celebrating not only secular, but also from the Christian perspective. Remember that All Saints' Day is for a celebration of all those people in a relationship with God. Remember that All Souls' Day is a celebration for all those working on that relationship. Keeping those in mind is half of the holiday, and the other half is the secular half. Is there anything wrong with celebrating a secular holiday? No, but we have to keep both halves in balance.
The word Halloween is a shortened form of All Hallows' Eve, the day before All Saints' Day.
Hallow is the same word for holy or sacred.
And een is a contraction of evening.
Even though Halloween's origins are rooted in our faith, there are many non-religious or secular aspects. Some are completely harmless.
And others are questionable. But as Dan said, we need to find the balance.
So do most people know that the origins of Halloween are religious?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's check it out.
Do you think Halloween is a religious holiday? Explain.
For the pagans and the witches, but not anything that we should be celebrating now.
It's made to have fun, have kids go out on one night to get candy from people. There's nothing religious about Halloween at all.
I think it could be religious.
No, I don't think Halloween's a religious holiday. You just kind of get dressed up and have fun and go trick-or-treating with your friends and family.
My parents always put it as like it's like the devil's birthday because everyone gets dressed up in costumes, does stuff like that. So I never really thought it was holy in any type of way.
I heard it was like the devil's birthday or something, but I don't know.
I think it's a pagan holiday. I think somebody just made sense of it and gave kids a reason to get dressed up and get candy.
I think it started out religious, as like a religious holiday.
Some people say it is.
I think that back in the pagan days it was, but it was celebrated because they thought they would get away the evil spirits.
Do you think many people know that the origin of Halloween is religious? Explain.
No, probably not. Because when you're taught, like, in school, you just kind of, like, oh, Halloween's coming, let's get candy, let's dress up.
It's so commercialized, Halloween these days, that all it is free candy, getting dressed, going to parties.
My cousins just told me that like a while ago, but I don't think really many people know.
It's celebrated so widely and praised so highly as a regular holiday. I don't think they're aware that they're actually celebrating something like that.
I don't think a lot of people really care that much either, sadly.
The people who go to church.
Let's see what Halloween has meant through the years to our guests today, and if they were aware of its religious aspects.
Okay, they are Andrew, Mary, Annie, Bree, Vince, and Kendall. And Moses.
That's just Phil.
Oh, that's Phil.
What's
up, Phil?
Not much. I had to dress as Moses, after all. He is my confirmation name.
Oh, well, you can already tell why I picked Abraham Lincoln, because that's my name, Abraham. Yep.
Toasty.
Indeed.
So what costumes are you guys wearing, and what has Halloween meant for you?
Well, I'm wearing a reindeer hat. So Halloween's always just been like a time to go out trick-or-treating and just, have parties. It's never been really something I thought about religion on.
Same. I'm a football player, and Halloween to me just meant like dressing up and getting candy.
I guess a sailor today, and Halloween to me was more kind of a tradition where we'd all dress up, we'd go to my family friend's house, and she'd have a cider party where we'd make apple cider. And that's what I did for years and years, but nothing really too religious.
For me, it was always my family would throw a party and we'd invite people over, eat lots of candy, trick-or-treat, and then play like rock band or something, and it was awesome.
Very awesome.
All right, well, I've got a hat.
Yeah.
With my family, the tradition has always been, we always went out trick-or-treating ever since I was a young kid.
I stopped trick-or-treating when I was quite young, and it never really struck me as something that I really wanted to do afterwards. My dad said, I'd rather pay you money than actually take you out trick-or-treating. I'm like, that works for me. That really works for me. But I mean, Halloween, as I've grown older, it's just something that actually becomes a little bit of a chore, not a chore, but a job, because you have to get costumes, you have to put it together. And I don't want to go out and buy costumes, so I'm trying to make costumes, be creative, and it's a lot of work.
For me, when I was younger, when I was a little girl, they had the pumpkin and the cute pictures, but it was never really a big thing. I was not really allowed to go trick-or-treating. I went to a Halloween costume party, and I did that once or twice, but out of that, I've never really celebrated Halloween.
I stopped trick-or-treating at a very young age. Reason being, actually, is because my neighborhood just got too dangerous. So my parents didn't want me really trick-or-treating anymore. Like Vince, I kind of got bored with it anyway, it just kind of outgrew it. But I still give candy to the little kids that come around. And then the day after, we go to church for All Saints Day.
Learning about the history of Halloween in Christianity is important for us as we mature in our faith.
And becoming aware of what Halloween was intended to be, we are able to make the choice whether we want to honor the day's religious significance,
celebrating the holy days of All Saints and All Souls,
or only as an excuse to dress up in a costume, collect candy, and have a party.
But is it possible to do both? Can we enjoy Halloween and respect our Catholic tradition?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
The way society is, there's no way that we can celebrate it and still think of it in the good Christian ways?
I guess you can, but if people knew more about it, maybe they'd understand it better.
I believe that we could be able to by still like going out trick or treating and having parties or whatever we're doing and like praying or whatever the social prayer for that night or something.
No, I think that'll be succumbing to the times and trying to make sense of things and being a part of things that you probably just shouldn't.
I think you can. You know, you do a little bit. You know, you go out trick or treat, and then you come back and you talk about it. You know, if you're an adult, talk to your kids about it. And if you're a kid, try to listen.
I think we can if people are like aware of what it is, but people don't really think of it as being religious. It's just like a way to get candy for free. You gotta like spread the knowledge.
It is about spreading the knowledge. Part of the knowledge is to be aware of the spiritual dangers associated with the holiday.
We must be careful to stay away from matters involving the dark side, which tend to creep up especially during this time of year.
Activities like taking part in a seance, tarot card readings, and Ouija boards may seem harmless.
Not only can they be harmful, but they can lead to even deeper involvement into even more dangerous pursuits like
witchcraft, paganism, and the occult.
All of these activities can open the door to evil.
Anything that tries to get in touch with supernatural power apart from God is dangerous to our souls.
Make no doubt about it, the power of darkness does exist. Satan will take advantage of any opportunity to turn our attention and direction away from God.
The Catechism of the Catholic Church warns against any types of these activities,
such as putting faith in horoscopes, palm reading, interpretation of omens, and consulting mediums.
They all conceal a desire for control over time, history, and other human beings.
They contradict the honor, respect, and awe, or loving fear that we owe to God alone.
My sister once actually messed with a Ouija board, and when she told my uncle, who's a priest, he got nervous. He was like, "Did you really do that?" And she was like, "Yeah, it was a long time ago." He was like, "Well, thank God you're fine. Those are really dangerous." And he actually went on to explain how dangerous it is to mess with that, because it actually could allow demons to enter you and allow spirits from the other side to enter into our world.
When I was little, we weren't even allowed to acknowledge, the fact that the Ouija board existed in my grandmother's house because she hated it. Her grandmother used to have a Ouija board, and she was afraid of it when she was little.
It seems so weird to me. I never thought anything of it. I've actually played the game before,
I've never thought that there was this existence of this evil in the world that was actually not just personified like in writing. Evil I figured would be people's negative choices and choosing to destroy away from God, but not an actual force.
When you're little, you get told of God and Jesus and how wonderful he is. You don't really get informed that, there are bad spirits, there are, bad powers out there. And so I don't think people really realize what they're messing with when they do use a Ouija board or, go get their palm read. I mean, it's just, they don't really understand because they're not told.
And that's a big mistake. Not knowing about it is the worst thing possible, because that leaves you open and vulnerable. So, make no mistake that the devil is out there and he's working,
That's also why you shouldn't curse at someone or, wish bad things upon anyone, because you might not think about it, but you're actually, kind of summoning, evil spirits to them or wishing bad things for, to happen to them. And you're not really thinking about it, but it's actually really dangerous.